stream starts on the cook. Never the cook. Okay, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, yeah. You don't know before. Alright. Alright. The violence we have all been waiting for since the very beginning of the day when we opened our eyes up till this point. This is what we have lived for. Despite today being a Monday, nobody cared. This is all we wanted to see. Ladies and gentlemen, El Cartel versus Shinigami, and hosting with me tonight is going to be Stu and Emmy. So we are going right into it. Stu, Emmy, your thoughts?
I won't stop until they're all brought to justice.
Only love and night are everlasting.
The power of Leo is within my hands.
From Shinigami, and then a Padang and an Irito pick coming in from El Cartel. Well, I wouldn't really I'm on anybody's side right now because this draft can go any other way. But well, they have a faster that can considerably answer the Sicilian's range and all that, and they have a pick. And I think the Brody is to counter the Irito, but yeah, let's see how it goes. And oh wow, we have a Fredrin from Mlbb. I don't know what's going on. Joy is open, Link is open, but apparently he's not picking those. I don't know what's going on in his head. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing Levi on that Mlbb thread, possibly wanting to steal that pick from Cheesy, since it's one of his signature picks since this Gauntlet Edition 12. But we see that Xbox ban on the side of Shinigami. I guess they took a few notes from yesterday when Xenagogue were faced against Darkstars, and they saw the potential when Isolani used Xbox. So I'm guessing they don't want to have that to deal with that stress. But for some reason, El Cartel don't get their third ban in. So from the early onset of the game, it's looking like they're going to be plagued with some internet issues right now. So I don't know. Possibly that gets resolved before they get into the game. But Shinigami, Panda taking that Katotsukacha pick. So that's two beefy front lines secured for Shinigami. And then we have those backline hard hitters like Brody and Sicilian. So far, Stu, what are you thinking? Whose draft are you favoring as El Cartel lock that Alice and that Angela?
Right now this draft is kind of looking pretty strong on the side of Shinigami. They do have that solid front line. They have the range, they have the dive, they have the CC, coming in different forms from both the Fredrin and Gatokacha here with the AOG. But if they do lock that Masha, it's really not looking good for the side of El Cartel, because there's just so much damage coming in from the side of Shinigami. We've all seen how oppressive that the Brody can be, and we all know how much this Sicilian scales into the late game. And right now they're having an Alice jungle who kind of does sustain, but she's not the type to take so much damage at her all at the same time. But what are you thinking about this draft, Emmy?
I mean, Alice, yeah, doesn't really take or can't really soak up that much damage, but Alice paired with the Angela is, it's just something disgusting. I've had the chance of playing against this, and trust me, you don't want to be on the receiving end of what this Alice and this Angela can do, or even a Angela on the Badahang or Iritel. Probably not Angela on the Fasa, but yeah, Angela works for four team members on the side of El Cartel, and they can cause havoc or problems for Shinigami because well, they have the Brody to tear through whatever comes forward, and they have the Cecilion in the late game to deal a lot of damage. But let's see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see how it goes indeed. We are into the game, the lower brackets, and I'm really excited. Oh, never mind. My excitement was cut short by this pause, possibly on the side of Shinigami. So from the very onset, just like we said, it's looking like MTN is going to be a contender for this match as well. So it's not looking very good at this onset, but uh, um, I think I want to remain hopeful. Eventually, it will be sorted out, and both teams can have that smooth experience. We don't want any team. I'm not going to mention names, but we don't want any team to blame their losses on anything. So all conditions have to be neutral, and let's hope that it's smooth sailing henceforth. But I mean, given the let's reminisce about the last time these two teams met. I mean, initially, I believe Cartel were losing to Shinigami, but they made that comeback win, if I remember correctly. So, hopefully, I think Shinigami would not want to have a repeat of that experience today, but El Cartel would also be looking to get further down this lower bracket and hopefully secure that grand finals matchup against Xenagog, who are very first finalists. So, what do you think, Stu? How do you think this match is going to pan out?
Yeah, like Emmy said, you actually do have to give props to that Angela and Alice combo here. I believe this is the second time that we're seeing the side of El Cartel actually just pair their heroes or draft in this certain way, and it has worked out for them in the past, so it can work out for them again here, because when it comes to the late game, the hard guard is actually going to come in pretty useful, and that is when Super Hatred will be scaling with this Irrital pick. But for the early game, they still have Void Hacker here with the Feathered Strikes, which is plenty of damage, plenty of utility to keep them in the game. But right now, I feel they would have to put a lot of pressure onto the gold lane. We can actually see Void Hacker rotating there already, but oh no, Conquest might be get caught out, but he flickers out into safety. But Emmy, let's do the usual. What are your bets for the first also? Who do you think is gonna carry this, or like who are you causing this evening?
Yeah.
I am not going to say anything because, for a fact, I know whoever I support right now is going to have a bit of a hard time in the early game. So I'm definitely not going to say anything. I'm not supposing anybody. We're just having two teams, trying their best to, win the match.
All right. I guess that's fair enough. I mean, while you were gone, I believe your course tendencies was passed on to me. And yesterday we're having a roller coaster of a game with each of my statements being exactly contradicted with every passing moment in the game. But right now, I think I will also take your stance and would not want to pick any team in case the course is still active. I just want to have a good game and an ensuing violence after, during and after actually. So the violence will transcend just the Land of Dawn and spill into the group chat, and hopefully, not many people will go to bed happy, definitely, and some people like me will definitely go to bed happy still.
Yeah, but right now we're seeing that the first turtle has spawned. Conquest actually helping Cheesy finish that purple buff quickly, so they'll be able to contend this. But right now the Sanguine Claws is not going to land onto Void Hacker. Camille actually taking a bit of damage here from this passer pick. But it looks like Angela is going to try and clear the mid lane. The Feathered Extract comes in. It looks like it's AOG onto Cheesy, and it's going to be Camille that secures this Lord. Marsha gets the first blood onto Fasa. She doesn't have any time to escape. The hard guy comes onto Cheesy, but he's not going to be able to sustain this damage. He does get out of there in the nick of time, and it's going to be a one for none trade, including the turtle to the side of SGM.
And this is the problem that they're going to have to deal with. They need to find a way to zone out Mlbb completely from the total or objective takes, because that S1 retry is just broken. I don't know how they're going to deal with that, because Alice can definitely win against that kind of matchup when it comes to the retry. But yeah. Everything is going perfectly all right now. We have a bit of a scuffle here in the bot lane. I don't know. They're not starting any fights. Everybody's just, sizing up each other and, taunting and all that. What do you think, Davis?
Yeah, I mean, when we'll pay close attention, we'll see that Boye has actually recovered that deficit that hatred was holding over him. But I don't know if this is actually that stillborns going back by Panda
Ooh.
and the turnabout memories,
Ooh.
but that bad impact by Omayun actually secures that kill on Super Hatred. Things are getting out of hand, and Shinigami are actually having a very good grip on the game from the very onset. And given that they have that late game secure with the Sicilian and with the Brody, still, I mean, we didn't say anything. You can't say this is the power of the course, but I can see some action in the top lane.
Yeah, it looks like Super Hatred is actually going to call here by Ooh, Sky Guy going to secure 2 kills onto Conquest, but looks like Cheesy actually coming in now, and he's going to
Oh,
flicker out. Void Hacker survives that AOG. Cheesy actually falling to the tower damage here, and it's just 1% Panda and Void Hacker while he retreats. The turtle is up, but El Cartel finally got their innings in this game and secured 3 kills.
That was not even a team fight. That was a brawl. That was a complete brawl, and everybody was, falling down left and right. But they need to watch out for this Marshall right now. She's on the 310 KDA mid lane. Oh,
Ooh,
she's able
looks
to
like
escape.
Sky Guy.
All right, we have Shinigami taking control of the second turtle right now. We have Super Saiyan trying to come in, probably stun them, and they are going to take that turtle without contest from El Cartel. I don't know why they decided not to go for that. Probably because Fasa was low or something. But yeah, that was probably a good call. But yeah, like I was saying, they need to watch out for this Masha, because I was not even expecting this kind of gameplay coming in from the Masha and the kind of kills that she has early on. I mean, this is a 3-1 KDA, 310 KDA right now. She can pretty much bust down two people or even three people in the lineup of El Cartel. She can take down Fasa, she can take down the Angela, and she can take down Super Hatred. And Super Hatred has been quite how do I put it, impulsive, because the last death that happened, it was because he went for, just look at that.
Yeah, it looks like the Brody is not actually going to be able to secure this kill, but 1% Pound actually getting that steel bones. The hard guy goes on to hatred, but they are going to have to disengage this now.
yeah,
How they're going to completely respond to this, but yeah.
yeah,
They're having a bit of a hard time in the bot lane. What do you think, Davis?
yeah. I mean, like you said, Super Hatred being a bit impulsive. I don't know why he's. Oh, we actually see a fight going on. That Avatar of the Guardian by Panda to the backline. I actually guess that's taunt onto Angela with the steel bones, and we see that feather strike coming in from Void Hacker. And but with the blood hold, it actually gives Cheesy just enough sustain to get out of that fight. Um, that is a tower down and a member lost on the side of El Cartel, and we actually see Sky Guy coming in for that execution onto Void Hacker is not going to allow him turn on his hacks this time. But Super Saiyan gets that revenge kill with the fist break and the fist crack combo. And Cheesy actually going in with that blood ode. Super Panda actually gets that taunt on him and that fadeaway kill by Na Alboye. I mean, it's looking like El Cartel have lost their usual cool and calm play and are just going for all out impulsive brawls and hoping that they can get something out of it.
Right now, you can see. I know it was in the previous game where I hyped up this Masha pick, but right now, many games for after, you can see why, because she can just like she's literally an assassin. I know in the game they call her a fighter, but right now she just walks up in the middle of your team and kills someone. She doesn't care anything you do to her. She doesn't care. She's gonna get that target, and she's just been giving them so much of a hard time, especially now that they don't have a tank to hold her with that CC.
Yeah,
They only have that face crack coming in from Super Saiyan, but looks like there's going to be a pause. So right now, I feel Cartel would have to play around with the range they have with this Fasa, because elsewise it's gonna be pretty hard for them to beat Shinigami's draft
yeah.
with a full-on brawl. They're gonna have to play around the feathered airstrike and the sustain that they get from the hard guard with Angela. But what are you thinking about this, Emmy?
Uh, I think this is coming. This is a bit of a fault coming in from Super Hatred, and probably the fact that his lane wasn't really ganked that much. But he was quite impulsive and lost the lead, and we can see the effect of the Brody right now. The Brody is causing havoc in team fights right now. But again, it's El Cartel. I've had the chance of casting every single streamed matches of theirs, and it is a fact. It's more like a pattern for them. They seem to be like they're on the back foot, and then bam, they are nuking your base and everything, and everything is turning around, and you don't know what's going wrong, you don't know what you're doing wrong, you don't know how you got into that particular scenario, but you have El Cartel on top of you just beating you down, all that. But so I wouldn't say they are actually out of the game right now. We can see a 4K gold lead coming in from Shinigami, but I think anything is still doable in this match, because I mean we're talking about El Cartel here. It seems like it's like a kink for them. They'll try to take a little bit of punches here and there, and then just start kicking back in. I think Davies might have something to say about that. What's going on, Davies?
I mean, the word you used, that was a very choice use of that word, saying that Cartel are having some kinks, and I'm sure, given their history with drugs, I'm not surprised. But yeah, I would definitely want to see how this game plays out. So we know that they have that tendency to always come back into the game, even if they are behind. I don't know if it's a tendency of them coming back or if it's a tendency of Shinigami to throw, but either way, I think one way or another, I think we still have a bit more or so much more game time in our hands. Actually, we see Panda going in with that Avatar of the Guardian, while Cheesy uses the Blood O to the backline. We see Super Hatred actually trying to run for his life, or Boye getting that fadeaway turn apart memories, while Panda secures the kill on Super Saiyan, and we see Sky Guy going in with that Marshall. It's an appraiser's route that gets a kill, and it's chaos in the land of Dawn, with Void Hacker being the sole survivor, while on the side of Shinigami, we have just Sky Guy falling. That's a 4-for-1 trade from that chaotic brawl, but it's not so chaotic because we actually see Void Hacker underestimating the abilities of and the bloodthirsty nature of Boye and Levi, trying to get that superior range with the feathered airstrike, but Boye and Levi immediately went for her. Immediately went for her. We can say they saw a lady and they could not resist. They went in without consent. What do you think, Stu?
I'm okay, no comments on what you just said. Or, yeah, that was peak aggressive gameplay here from the side of Shinigami. They just went in at the same time, and you wouldn't expect that, especially that flicker from Boy. But like after the kind of games that he has in the past and the kind of comments he's received, you can really tell that he's playing this hero with a lot of anger because he has something to prove here that he is indeed Boye and not Jayward Child. But Emmy, what do you think about this? The gold gap is actually just widening here. I think it went from a 4K to a 6K now, and it's just getting harder and harder for Void Hacker to find these further airstrikes from a safe region because of the amount of dive and CC that the side of Shinigami have.
Despite the 4-1 team fight that they had, they were not really able to convert it into any tier 2 turret. And but the Lord is definitely going to come down and break through that mid tier 2 turret. But we have a bit of a fight here.
Looks like the feather death track is actually going to advocate. The AOG comes in, but Void Hacker is going to be able to actually evade that. But looks like the taunt goes on to Void Hacker, and it's going to be Panda that secures that kill.
Oh my
Ooh, but look at Sky Guy. He finds his target, but his target finds an exit and manages to escape and live another day. Now they are going to compound on this mid tower. I don't know how the side of El Cartel are going to try and defend this, but the hard guy goes on to Cheesy and it looks like so much damage. But Panda is going to fall here. Super Hatred having to pull on the wind of nature, but the flicker coming from Iron Boy and he's going to get killed in the fountain. Double kill for this maniac right now. Triple kill. The last back impact actually secures the kill, and it's not going to be a maniac. It's going to be a 1 versus 4. But right now, it looks like the Shinigami Death Reapers have sent Cartel to their grave as they secure this game 1. Wow.
I don't know what's going on with Super Hatred, but he needs to calm down. He needs to, probably refresh. I don't know, maybe his OS is using Windows XP. Probably needs to upgrade to Windows 11 or something. But they started snowballing from the few mistakes that he made in the gold lane. Going up front way too much just because the Angela was at his back and he felt he was safe or something, and he got killed a few times, and then that's when Boye just came online and then just started tearing through everybody in the front line. And like I said earlier on in the beginning of the game, the Brody is there to tear through whatever they threw in the front line of El Cartel, and it really shows that right now. Because I mean, just look at the Angela. She poor little girl on the 3.9 bronze. I don't know how they are going to come back from this, because I expected more, and this was more like a total beatdown, a game that ended in the span of just 12 minutes. And the Sicilian was eating way more and dealing way more damage, even though they were not even eating the mid game or late game like that. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, well, before I will talk about the result, I actually want to point out Super Hatred. Well, not Super Hatred, sorry. Now Outbuye's perfect timing. So when he was hitting his basic attacks, we actually saw Super Hatred popping that wind of nature, but he timed it to perfection and finessed his with the flicker. He finessed with his turn apart memories, and he actually got a fadeaway kill while Super Hatred was actually in the fountain. Thought he was safe. He thought he had found solace, but one way or another, Boye still secured that kill. So we can say for a fact now, well and truly, that spirit of Jayward Child in him is dead. He is actually playing out of his mind right now, almost to the level of glazed bones that we saw when he actually faced him. So he has definitely gone back to the drawing board and cooked up some very nice things. And now looking at the results, we know Conquest isn't much of a support player. He's more of a tank player who just likes being that dominating frontliner that gives that space to his team to actually go in and do what they are supposed to do. But all that was not enough against the prowess of Na Boye, and that complete diff on Hatred was just overwhelming, and he played surprisingly well. Well, I mean, yeah, I would say surprisingly, because his performance in the last time was a bit subpar. So he has definitely done some work still. But now we are going into the second game. So Stu, your thoughts?
Pain is the proof that I'm still
Right
alive.
now, I would say a lot of the factors of that loss just stems like majorly from the draft. Um, we have seen it work for them in the past, but not against the lineup like this. Shinigami came in with dive, frontline, CC, damage, and then it just kind of compounded on Cartel because they couldn't actually cope here. They went for an Irritel against the Brody, they went for an Angela, and that got picked that, and they got a Masha pick after that, and it's just that no one to protect the team, no one to actually go in except from your jungler here, and it just showed. And right now I'm hoping to see a better draft from the side of Cartel here, but right off the bat you see they deny that Brody, they ban it out, and Omayun is actually going to secure that Sicilian pick again. But oh, we're actually seeing a CC first pick here, which is kind of surprising. But what do you think about this draft so far, Annie?
I think it's pretty much what I expected. I expected that they were going to take out the Brody because definitely they don't want Boyes to do what he did in the last game. And I don't know about this Sicilian, opening Sicilian from them, and this Uranus ban. Personally, I still ban the Sicilian and find the other way to deal with the Uranus. But I don't know, their own draft and their own prowess. But we have a Gacha pick coming in here from El Cartel, and probably a Clint pick coming in here from wow, from Boye, and I don't know the that they'll give to answer to this range. And we have a Suyo pick coming in from Camiliva. I don't know what he's thinking. We have a Joy pick coming in from Cheesy, something that I don't think we've really seen him on. We've usually seen him on a Fredrin, Ling, and all that. But I think Joy should be able to handle the Sicilian at the back line. Though I think a Ling or an Ayabusa would be preferable to be able to shut down the Sicilian and the Clint. But anyways, we have a Moscow ban coming in here from Shinigami. I don't understand that. We have a Bruno pick here coming from El Cartel, trying to match the range coming in from Clint, though Clint still has way more range than the Bruno, but it's still something. They don't have a Brody to answer to the Clint either way, so I think they're going for the next best option, which is going to be the Bruno. And we might have a Fovius pick here trying to seal in the Joy pick coming in from El Cartel, followed by a Tigreal pick. Oh, never mind, it's a Kaja. It's a Kaja coming in from Panda. And wow, yeah, Davies, what do you think?
I mean, uh, so far I'm actually liking the draft. This time we're seeing Conquest on a tanky hero. I'm not seeing playing an underaged mage in the midst of five black men. We're actually seeing him playing a much more uh, niche or a much more traditional pick, a much more comfortable pick. But this Kaja pick is a bit surprising. I
Disaster.
mean, it's a bit surprising. I mean, though he was reworked recently, he hasn't been the prize in the eyes of many Rome players. But I think Panda is actually seeing a gem in him right now, since he's probably doing his best to counter this Joy. But once again, we see Void Hacker on that Zast pick. Still, the last time he picked this, you doubted him and he came out with an MVP. He has picked it again. So, what do you think, Stu? Do you think he's going to replicate that rating, or do you think Shinigami will have something to say about it?
Right now, I see this Zask pick, and I lose all hope for El Cartel. Any fights that they lose would be the fault of this Zask. I maintain my stance. This Zask pick would be the downfall of many teams to come. Just right now. But we actually see Cheesy on this Joy, but he actually would have to watch out for that divine judgment from Panda. But looks like we're seeing a pause here. One one thing I'm actually surprised about is seeing that Bruno pick from Super Hatred. One would expect him to go with his signature Harry, but then considering that they do have a magic damage jungle, it's understandable that they needed to go for a physical damage. But right now, I'm liking the draft from both teams. I will have to lean with the side of Shinigami again. They do have that madness, early game damage and sustain madness in the side of Sky Guy with that Fovius pick. And they do have an answer to the joy here with the Divine Judgment on Panda. But I would say that this game actually is anyone's game because the drafts, although leaning towards the favor of Shinigami, it all falls down to execution. But what do you think about this, Emmy?
Quite surprised the amount of damage that Zaz can do in a short amount of time. A very good Zaz player, will be able to bust down the Sicilian or probably the Clint, in between team fights, and your own teammates wouldn't even understand how you died. So I think that's what is going on in the mind of Void Aka right now, because I don't know why else he would pick this Zask. But the last time he picked it, like Davies pointed out, he actually performed well, and I think we can expect the same kind of gameplay from him right now, because he might be able to shut down the Sicilian way more often than he can do on the Fasa, and he would also be able to shut down the Clint too. Just a little bit of mispositioning coming in from these two people can turn around the team fight. And once the Clint and the Sicilian is taken down, the only other person that can do damage in a team fight on Shinigami's team is the Suyo, and the Suyo doesn't really have magic damage and magic defense again. So a bit of damage coming in from the Zask and the Joy can be like a counter to the Suyo at this point in time. But yeah, we're going back into the game, and I think MTN should have gotten their claws out of our players, and we should have an optimal gameplay filled with violence and something that we can talk about later on in the group chats.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'll definitely be looking forward to that. Yeah, so the last time it was basically a 4v6 with MTN being on the side of Shinigami and the side of El Cartel once again requesting that pause. So I don't know. It's really not looking good. It's actually looking like a replica of that game so far. But that game, El Cartel actually came out with the victory. I don't know if I can say the same for them here, but I think given their draft in this second game, it's looking like they're a bit more comfortable and a bit more confident. And I can see some cheesy glazers on the live chat actually saying that he's going to show why he's one of the most revered junglers in recent times on this Joy. And I think Levi may actually be having some PTSD also from this Joy pick, because when they faced Synagogue, it was this Joy that took away his joy. He wasn't happy that much. When he played it, he got that Choco, the Reveal 3.0, and that was a point of contention today while all the violence was going on in the group chat. So, and I don't know, that may make him emotional, and as we know, he's sometimes prone to being emotional. So, one way or another, you can say El Cartel may also be playing mind games while also peddling their drugs to their fans and their clients. So, what are you thinking, Stu? Do you really think Shinigami would give El Cartel a clean sweep, or do you think they will be able to run away with their money and some drugs?
I think that we're gonna find out in a short time when this pause is over. I do have to go back to this Zask pick. I feel majority of the reason that they picked this is because they want, that Suyo just got this nerf where he doesn't reduce, he doesn't have any magic defense anymore. So they want to overload that magic damage onto the Suyo because it's looks like they're actually requesting for another pause.
For another
I don't know
pause,
what's going on
man.
here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. But if you look at the bot lane, it seems that Sky Guy. Ooh, looks like Super Saiyan actually just walked into the tower of Sky Guy, and that would be first blood there. So that's probably why they're asking for the pause here. Super Saiyan is AFK and walking towards the enemy. Well, yeah, I hope that they can sort this out. If he is fully and completely AFK, this is grounds for a restart. But
Yeah.
they have used their pauses.
I mean, they don't necessarily need to still have pauses if they want a restart. You can just do the request. Okay.
Okay, I think the ref just granted it
Yes, it just granted that
because he
restart.
didn't give the full pause.
Victory!
Okay. I guess
Well,
this is a restart. For those who don't know how this works, what happens essentially is that you get the opposing team that did not restart gets to ban an extra hero in the lobby.
yeah.
So
Uh,
let me just type those rules out.
okay. So while all that is going on, I think we're going to see the creation of a new lobby. Um, I mean, this looks like a worse off condition than Cartel we're in the last time that they faced off against Shinigami, and for them to request this restart, you know that it must be pretty bad. I don't exactly know. Possibly Super Saiyan is the one who is being plagued with the internet issues. So we'll have to see if we can find a way around it. So I'm really hoping that these issues can be resolved and can actually get on with the game, because we are all itching for violence. Lord knows that I'm itching for violence right now, and I'm not getting my fill. If there's any incantation that anyone knows that can resolve these issues, please put it on the live chat so we can see it live. As long as it is, family friendly. Yes, so that we can get on with the game, because we can't just wait. Um, I've been waiting all day, man. I've been waiting all day, and I've been fanning the flames of violence on the group chat. So I think we all deserve to get what we have been waiting for. And so we're still waiting for the side of Shinigami to get their complete members so we can get on with the restart. But it's like you said, I hope the both teams still have a good idea of the rules and they follow it accordingly now that they've initiated that pause. So the lobby is actually finally complete now, and I think the teams are just ready enough. So once they are all ready, we'll go into this game, and I think they are all ready to do that right now. So we should be getting into the game any moment from now. And finally, I think we are in the game. So, Stu, can you run us through?
Yeah, it looks like they would be going for the exact same draft here. That's why we see the bands that are just going to be more or less not to waste the least amount of time. But yeah, this is kind of like a damper on the mood, but it's best to get the most value that we can out of these games. Sorry, because we all know how MTN be dealing with us in this country. We don't have a proper ISP, internet service provider. But Emmy, you've been quiet for a while. Has this quenched the violence in your voice, or are you still with us?
I am. I am still with you guys. I'm just, I'm actually pissed that MTN is causing all these kind of issues, because just like Davey said, I'm not getting my feel of the violence that I'm expecting from this particular
Finally,
series.
somebody else.
And, but yeah, I think we're getting back into the game now. I don't think, still, I don't know if they banned any particular hero on the side of Shinigami. How did they ban? Did they?
No, not to my knowledge. But then the side of Cartel said that they want to use the exact same draft, so there will
All
be no
right.
hero changes.
Okay.
Whatever happened to Saiyan, maybe he actually got locked out of his game for some reason because we
Mm-hmm.
do know that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that that has now been resolved, that we can go into this game with pure undiluted violence.
Yeah. We can go back into the game. We're on the matchup page right now.
Yeah, yeah. Finally, the wait is over, and hopefully, as they go into the game, Sion won't have that issue anymore. So let's see. Hopefully, they can be super and not be mediocre like Hatred was in the last match. And yeah, I hope we can really get a good game on our in our hands today.
think
Speaking of,
I think I think we need a bit of palm oil to put on Davies' forehead because I don't understand what's going on. I'm the one that is Shango in the caster's desk, and we have someone here trying to usurp me of my wickedness. I don't know why we're just out here to get blood from these people, but yeah, we're back into the game, and we have a bit of a scuffle here from Panda onto Void Aka. And the game is just starting, and I don't think anybody is lagging, so I'm happy to see that. And we're
yeah,
getting into the game. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this was the exact same mid-lane matchup the last time that Void Hacker picked this ask when Steel wrongfully doubted his prowess and he proved him wrong. So
Rightfully.
I'm actually wrongfully because he was the MVP that match. So I would say that was wrongfully doubting his prowess. So he actually did very well on it. We actually see Levi securing that lethal while Cheese is still trying to free farm. Panda has been a bit of a menace in his jungle, just harassing him with those rings coming from the Kaja. I mean, is typical Rome Kaja play. So he's just doing his best, and possibly when he gets those Thunder belts, he would also add the passive to just be that menace and to stack the Thunder belt stacks for free. But while all that is going on, we actually see Levi going in with that engage onto Super Saiyan in the bot lane. He gets that Queller shot off, but it's not enough to take down Saiyan, who spends his vengeance and still recalls. So there's going to be a lot of resources used, and I don't think he will get to level 4 in time for this total. And it's also looking like the other members of El Cartel are not even interested in this turtle, given their early game disadvantage. Panda still harassing Cheesy in his jungle while he's taking his blue buff, and we see Void Hacker doing his best to try to, and he actually stole the blue buff from Cheesy. That's,
Oh
I mean,
wow.
that that's very well played from Panda. And what do you think, Steve? Is it looking like, even if there is no overwhelming advantage just yet, it's looking like Shinigami are just going to be a pain in the backside of El Cartel all day, every day.
Right now, I think Panda was actually able to get that creep as well from Cheesy, which is kind of a very big problem because if you play the jungle role, you know how much your early farm affects
Yeah,
and dictates the
I mean,
pace of the
I
game here
mean,
because he's
yeah,
equal level with Aroma.
that's
Kami
insane.
Levi at level 6 right now. He's
Oh,
actually going to
oh,
pop the electrifying beast, but the AOG
oh
going to
my
come in,
God.
and but he's not going to find anyone in the
Boom.
backline here. Looks like it's going to be first blood onto Panda, and the Nightmaric Spawn is just going to sit idly behind as he can do absolutely nothing. But you can see in the bot lane, Sky Guy actually giving Super Saiyan a hard time here with this Phobius. Looks like we're seeing the reverse of this line of this matchup because we all know that the CC is more oppressive to the tanky types. But what are you thinking about this, Emmy?
It seems Emi is having some network issues, but we actually see the electrifying bits going on, and he eventually gets that kill on Sky Guy. And Kamileva actually commits to that fight, and we see Void Hacker using that spawn, and we see Cheesy going in with the dashes, and the steel bones to lock down Levi, and that's another kill secured. Those are two very important kills secured by the side of El Cartel, while Super Hatred is actually in the top lane running for his life from three members, three kidnappers who are trying to get him slain this night. He actually did well to get away, but that's going to be a free, oh, almost a free tower taken by Shinigami, but they don't quite get it down fully yet. And we see Super Saiyan actually coming in from behind, and she actually gets that cutting call. The steel bones from Conquest comes in, but it's just not enough to lock down any member of Shinigami. Still, I mean, it was looking like Shinigami were having the upper hand, but it's looking like, oh, that Dominator's Ascent from Void Hacker just to zone out the members of Shinigami and get that space that they need. But Sky Guy going into the backline with that Infernal Pursuit, and we see those Sanguine Claws and the AOG to the backline, and he gets absolutely nobody. But Boye gets slain while Cheesy takes down Panda from behind. And Omayun trying his best, but he can't do nothing. Levi trying to run away with his life, but Super Saiyan gets that cutting call and the flicker by Super Hatred to get that final kill on Levi. That is a 4 for nothing. We can't even say it's a 5 for nothing because they took the turtle stew. I mean, we thought that El Cartel were down and out, but just like that, they are not just back in the game. It's looking like they are dominating still.
Yeah, it looks like El Cartel able to turn this around. Even Cheesy being behind in experience in that jungle, his team members were not behind at all. In fact, they were behind SGM and they were able
Oh,
to
oh,
shoot some on some questionable shot. But looks like in the backline, the Dominators
Dominator.
are sent going to go on to Boy. The
Mm,
balls coming in from Super Hatred,
okay.
actually able to secure that kill. The Sanguine Claws is not going to catch on to Super Hatred now. He is going to escape this. It is going to be a one for none. They didn't manage to get that tower, but they have got in the top lane. Super Hatred absolutely balling with this Bruno. No kills yet, but 5 assists. What are you thinking about this, Emmy? But it looks like it's going to be a Grand Theft Purple as well.
Yeah, this is what I was pointing out earlier on later, and we have
Oh,
the we have
Oh,
the
the
odds coming
Divine
in from Kaja.
Judgment.
Oh my god.
oh my
Divine
god.
Judgment onto Super Saiyan, but it's actually Panda that is going to fall here to the damage coming in from El Cartel. Wow.
And
Sorry.
just like I said, the Zask has a bit of damage that whenever he ults, you just have to run away from it, and we saw that in the bot lane with Boye, and I think there's a guy coming up on him right now. He has to retreat to the back. He had to run away, and Super Hatred coming in with Conquest, they were able to shut him down earlier, and we have El Cartel on the roll right now. They are collapsing on Oh My Yun, and we have a shutdown coming in from Void Aka, and we have Divine Judgment catching on to Cheesy, and I think he overextended. We have a conceal coming in from Panda.
It looks like the console player is going to come in, but the Sky Guy actually going in with that Infernal Pursuit. But Super Saiyan didn't all that damage to him. The AOG is not going to connect to anyone. He saves the Steel Bones. He finds Levi. Levi trying his best to survive this, but no, he's going to fall to the damage from Super Saiyan. 1% Panda having to escape with 1% chance of survival, but Sky Guy not going to escape. The flicker comes in for Super Hatred. Is he going to get? He enters the bush, but no, Super Hatred finds that kill onto Sky Guy as well. They have lost 2 members. The turtle is still up, but they are going to collapse on this mid. The Sanguine Claws actually does come on to blow the hacker, but the
Look at
Dominators
that!
are
Look at
sent
that!
into the back line, and he's
Look at
actually
that! Look at
able
that!
to secure that
Look at
kill.
that!
The mid lane just falls. They are taking everything they can from these fights. Cheesy on the turtle, Void Hacker in the mid lane, Super Hatred onto Sky Guy, the bot lane.
And
Cartel absolutely dominated this game. They are trafficking a win right now, but let's see
this
if they
is
can keep up the pace.
this is what I said about the Zaz. Once it gets up and personal with either the Clint or the Sicilian, they don't have a fighting chance
Thank
unless the Clint
you.
is like extremely
Thank
fed. And
you.
you can see that happening with the Sicilian. He tried to run, but Vodaka just has to come out of the ult and just replace the ult in a position that would give the
Yeah.
Sicilian no chance to be able to survive that. And we can see the Sicilian on the 0-2-2 right now. and we have Boye still trying with a 220 KDA right now, and I think we have
Yeah.
a Grand Theft Orange right now. I don't think the buff is not up, so they just decide to
Yeah.
leave the place. But like you said, El Cartel is, they are dominating and they are trafficking this win right now because they are way ahead in gold and they are dominating this particular match. I don't really see anything going wrong for them, probably unless they make some kind of weird mistake. And we have Fovius here engaging.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be an engage here, but Fovius will come out. But oh, the steel bones from Conquest actually does catch on to Fovius. I don't know if the Divine Judgment is going to come in, but the Dimeric Spawn will be taken out as they retreat towards the bot lane. Camille Levi might just get cut out. I do not know if they have a conceal, but looks like they aren't willing to commit to getting him now.
You can see the damage coming in from the Nigerian spawns of Voidaka. I mean, just look at that. They have to deal with taking out the spawn and and that might take a few of their skills. And by the time it comes in, there's Joy. There's they have way too many things to worry about. And the Zask is definitely one of the main problems. Though the Cecilion is starting to scale up, and we have an Engager coming in from Phobius.
Yeah, Phobius would actually retreat there, but looks like the Lord will spawn.
All right, so we have Levi here trying to steal the turret on the upper part of the map. I don't know what's going on here. Why Shinigami is trying to engage in this fight without their jungler, but they are just scouting, and we have El Cartel taking the Lord, but Levi is able to, take down the second tier turret on the upper part and able to do a Grand Theft Orange on that
Right.
buff, and he's able to take it. And we have let's look at the positioning coming in here from Vodaka. He's trying to pick off someone, and who's going to be the unlucky person? We have Levi walking into the bush.
Levi looking into the bush, but the Nightmare Spawn comes in. He actually tries to dash out of this, but the combined with the Dominator's Ascent, medical kill from Void Hacker. He actually escapes with a sliver of HP. That damage from Nad Boy, really slapping here with a double shot. But they are able to secure this kill as well as a tier 2 tower in the mid lane. The Holy Shields have not popped just yet, but it looks like that's going to be the Holy Shield popped in the top lane. Holy Shield popped in the middle lane. Only left with the tier 2 in the mid in the bot lane as well as the Holy Shield there. But that would be the entirety of that Lord push.
We have a bit of a wow. Clint is starting to deal a bit of a oh,
Ooh, that
just as I was saying.
Plus the
Cecilian
double
and
shot.
Clint. Cecilian and Clint are starting to ult a lot, and I think El Cartel need to end this very early before it turns around on them, and they have a bit of a problem on their hands. Davies, what do you think?
I mean, I would, if I want to say anything, it's going to be this comment on Void Hacker. Actually, he actually gets into the action with that Dominator's Ascent, and we see the AOG to the backline and the cutting call that catches Sky Guy and Panda, but both teams disengage. I mean, Void Hacker is on his Zask of all picks. Zask that's considered to be squishy, and he's playing it like he's on an assassin, and we see him assassinating an assassin. These are not logical conclusions when a player is playing a mage. But they let Haka stay too long on the match, and he has actually turned on his hacks, and we can see him performing wonders. Today is not Sunday. We're not supposed to see miracles, but I can tell you still, miracles are happening.
As miracles are happening, as the electrifying beats go on to Sky Guy, he's not going to be able to survive this with the Inferno Pursuit. It's Camille Levi securing. No, it's actually Panda that gets that purple buff as Camille Levi retreats here. But yeah, like you said, that was really. Oh, but look at the Sanguine Claws. But the AOG actually does manage to save him. He used the Dominator's Descent to secure that kill. He will leave that. He will leave that like Merrick spawn as he survived with a sliver of HP. And the assassin mage committed another cartel crime today. That mid lane tower actually not falling just yet, even though they tried to force that. But yeah, that was very masterful gameplay coming in from the side of Cartel. They waited for Suyo to use his dash out before they committed with the Nightmaric spawn and the AOG. able to secure that kill on him masterfully. Right now, you can say that it is not the hero, it is the player, and they are showing that they
Okay.
are the players in this game. But yeah, the
Gladly.
Zask, the Zask pick could still be the cause of a troll. It doesn't matter if Cheesy dies or Conquest dies. It would be Hacker's fault if they do.
I think we can all agree that we have Vodaka here, carrying the whole team of El Cartel on his back, and he has the Holy Crystal with 50 stacks on the Sky PSR, which is going to be a lot of damage. And we can all agree that Camiliva is not having the greatest of times on this Suyo right now with a 0-4-2, but we have the Lord crashing in on the mid lane, and we have the AOG coming in from Conquest.
And the Steel Bones is actually going to taunt onto Panda, but he will survive. There's a cutting call, not allowing the members of Shinigami to retreat. It's going to be Sky Guy that falls here. The Inferno Pursuit is not going to be enough to tank all this damage coming in from the side of El Cartel, but it looks like they will break out this fight because they didn't actually time those minion waves in the bot lane. The inhibitor is still standing, and Shinigami might still live to defend another Lord here or another tower.
This is the importance of sinking the waves, and if they are sink that waves, they probably might have been able to end, but they did not do that, and they were just they decided to retreat. Wow, Sanguine Claws coming in from OYU, but they decided to retreat immediately after taking Sky Guy. I mean, just look at Sky Guy and Camiliva are not having the greatest of time right now, and we have Divine Judgment coming in. Ooh, AOG.
Divine, oh, the AOG actually does not catch on to anyone. The Steel Bones catching Panda, but look at the speed of the death. But the Conceal comes in. Cheesy is going to get caught up by the Divine Judgment. He manages to survive this. He actually dashes out of there. The Inferno Pursuit is going to secure the kill, but it's going to be Void Hacker that gets that kill onto Sky Guy. Sky Guy getting his first kill in the game before he gets sent in the sky and back into the fountain.
I don't know what Chizzy was thinking there. I don't know why he went in there, even though he knew Divine Judgment was available on Panda, and he would have, caused a bit of a problem for them, considering that they could shut him down. And now he's dead. He's on a 326 KD, and this is the time that you need to be careful the most in Mlbb, because they are getting into the late time marker, and your response time cooldown is going to be way longer than compared in the early game. And I hope that El Cartel doesn't throw this obvious lead that they have. They have almost a 9k or a 8k good lead on Shinigami right now. And even though the Sicilian and the Clint are, they're active right now, they still can't make up for the AOG that comes in from Conquest. It scatters the backline of Shinigami, and they would need to regroup and everything. And then we just have Zask up there in the front, tearing them down while they are trying to, reposition and all that. And we have Super Hatred here just melting down the Lord in a matter of seconds. Wow! And this time around, I think they need to sink the wave so that they can end this game. And we have Joy here activating. Wow!
Wow, the electrifying beats will try and kill Camille Levi, but no, he survives and the Sanguine Claws onto Conquest will secure his death in the backline. They had a Lord, they just had to wait for it. They just had to push, they just had to end. But the Cartel trying to raid the police get raided instead.
I don't know what in the throw this gameplay is, but I think the three of them right now need to.
Oh my God.
Whoa! I take that back.
Look at that.
Oh
Look
my
at
God.
that. The damage coming in from Super Hatred and that Sky Piercer from Void Hacker. The Sky Piercer is literally leaving no chances for survival here. The Nightmare Spawn and the Dominator's Descent going to secure the skill, but Kamilivi trying his best to Soul Sever onto the Lord to try and vamp some HP, but it's going to be up to Sky Guy to frontline this and Mad Boy to take this Lord down, but they are actually going to defend another Lord. Cartel are running out of time here. They are up against the Clint and the Sicilian, and every second, every minute that they waste is a second closer to a comeback from the side of Shinigami. They're going to have to pick their fights carefully. They're going to have to play more calculated. You can't have these run-of-the-mill engages here. But what are you thinking about this, Emmy?
I have made my point known. I don't know why they are trying to throw this match, and I think Davis would have a lot to say about this. Davis.
I have been holding my thoughts for 10 minutes. I have been waiting to speak. First of all, oh, that AOG coming in. I'm not even allowed to speak because AOG coming in, and then we see that Dominator's Ascent, Conquest getting the kill on our Outboy, and the electrifying beast to the backline, the Infernal Chase from Sky Guy, locked on to Cheesy, but doesn't get anything, while Super Saiyan, we actually get Cheesy, while Super Saiyan's front lines, and we see the kill from Super Hatred onto Sky Guy. That was a little bit of a fight, and we see Conquest possibly overextending. He actually disengages, but it's looking like El Cartel will be able to end this game at this point, given the resources that they have and the number of minions that are sieging the base right now. We see that kill onto Mlbb. Those are big balls on Super Hatred, and he's making very good use of them. And Void Hacker on that legendary with the Zask. I told you, Stu, I told you that this man is not normal. This man is not ordinary. He played out of his mind and on the Zask nonetheless, and he actually delivered as the I believe he's still the leader. The leader of El Cartel is actually leading by example right now. Cheesy being on the only person with the silver in his team. Um, Void Hacker with that well-deserved MVP with a 903 KDA and a 27% damage, a 92% team fight participation.
9013. 9013.
That is some insane stats. And Sky Guy putting up a league level performance on these Fovios. I mean, we know that it's a losing match against the CC in the AXP lane, but his performance was possibly what stemmed this result. And then we have also Levi not being quite as lethal on the Soyu. Like I said, I think this joy pick really triggered that PTSD, and he wasn't quite at his full potential. So with Omayun doing his best on that Sicilian, getting that MVP loss, Stu, what do you have to say? You doubted Void Hacker the first time. You were not a believer. You doubted him again. You were still not a believer, and 2 times he has proven you wrong.
At this point, Void Hacker is gonna have to thank me for placing the streamer's course on his Zask performance, because otherwise we all know how he performed he would be with this hero. In a way, I am actually correct, as I have motivated my enemies to perform to their fullest. But yeah, GG's to Void Hacker here. Absolute phenomenal gameplay here with this Zask. You can tell that he isn't just playing it mindlessly. He isn't using those Dominator's Descents and Nightmaric Spawns casually. He's playing very calculated with it. And yeah, we did see an absolute better game here. That Brody band coming in straight up to kind of deny Nad Boy from that pick, because we did see him boying again. Like he wasn't showing us the masterful gameplay that he did with the Brody in the first game. Right now he was boying like he did in the first time we had him on stream. But what do you think about this, Emmy?
I don't know. Probably the Brody is comfort pick, and without that, is not going to be able to perform effectively. But I think we can say that the Zas coming in from Void Hacker was able to overshadow all of everything that Shinigami had to bring to the table from any of their players, and they were not able to respond or have anything to answer to that. I mean, just look at that. We have a Zas band coming in from Shinigami. They are not going to allow that to pass through the drafting phase, and I respect that. If you have something that is disturbing you, ban that thing out. Don't distress yourself with trying to answer something that is going to turn up your old your old draft upside down. And they have banned that now. And like I said, I don't know why Cartel was opening Sicilian seats, and they have banned out the Sicilian. But we have a Uranus pick coming in from El Cartel, and we have Shinigami responding with the Gato Gacha and then the CC. And I wouldn't really blame Sky Guy in the last game. He was doing his game later on back into the late game, but it was too late. And I don't know why Camille Levi went for the Suyo, because personally we all know for a fact as a jungler, we all know that when the magic defense got nerfed, whenever you see a magic based jungler or anything on the enemy team, just don't pick Suyo. Suyo has fallen off quite very hard, and I don't know why he picked that. And we have a joy pick coming in here from Kamiliva. Hopefully he doesn't go on a 3.0 KDA bronze this time around. And we have Cartel responding with the Iritel and the Minotaur. And let's see how this goes. We have a Vexenal band coming in, a respect band again to Void Aka. You just have to respect this guy. He goes into the jungle, he does magical things. He goes into the gold lane, he's a fucking bank in there. He just banks, take all the gold on the whole map and tears through the whole enemy team. He goes to the mid lane and he's completely causing havoc with his Zask. I don't know about his other heroes or anything, but that Zask in that mid lane is doing crazy. And we have a Bruno ban coming in from El Casa. What do you guys think about this ban? What's going on here?
I mean, given that super hatred has gone on that Irithel and the ban, wait, they didn't ban out the cleans. Okay, so I think Boye would have to resolve to the cleans pick. And I think he thinks that we'll have a better chance going up against the cleans than against the Bruno. But yes, like you said, those are two normal, I would say less than these are C-class mages. These are C-class mages that Shinigami have resulted to banning just to stop an S-tier player. Because you can't tell me that a team would opt to ban Zas and Vexana in a game where you have mages like this, just the I believe the what you call this mage again? My head is just blown right now with how good with yes, thank you. We have the faster, we have the Eve, and even the pick by Void Hacker now. You could also ban those, but instead it opt for the Zas and they opt for the Vexana. Imagine a player being so good on C tier heroes that teams are resulting to banning it. That is the kind of player that we're having in our presence, and I really think Bucky needs to, or still needs to, let go of his heresy and come to the light. Come to the light of the Void Hacker. Come and witness this player in his ultimate glory. So we see the full comp from both sides now. The Loyi, the Link, the Minotaur, the Uranus, and the Irithel on the side of El Cartel. And then we have Camille Levi on the Joy, and we see CC, Kasatkacha, Kari, and Lilia for the side of Shinigami. It's definitely going to be definitely going to be a pause. Definitely going to be a pause.
Was there a pause? It's literally 2 seconds on the clock. How was there a pause request right now? Okay. Oh, all right.
Well, sorry. I would like to put this out there, because if Shinigami lose this series and El Cartel come on top, I think I'm just putting it out there to Shinigami players, especially Kamiliva. He has like a bit of a redemption arc in the LMNI GC right now. I'm pretty sure he's definitely not going to be able to say anything, because just like Fifu said, he's on his signature pick right now, and if he doesn't perform on this Joy and wreck the old El Cartel team and win this particular match and this series, I think we're going to have a lot of violence on our hands, a lot of puns and insults and tags coming in from a lot of people that have been waiting for this guy's particular downfall. I don't know how he garnished so many enemies in the span of how many years that he joined RNK, but this is definitely the kind of violence that me and Davies have been waiting for, and Void Aka has cooked this violence has added a bit of seasoning with no Maggi and a lot of curry and thyme and everything, and I'm enjoying this right now. I'm fully into this. I just wanted to put that out there. Still go on.
Yeah, we're looking at the draft. Right now, you see that they picked a Joy. So the Vexana ban isn't actually coming in surprising because she does have that instant CC, which can cause a lot of problems for a hero like a Joy, because Joy is very susceptible to the CC. She does have the what's the name of this Guardian and her ultimate. She does have that,
The
and she does
Eternal God.
have hers. Yeah, the Eternal Guard, and she also does have her skill 125. But it looks like for the side of SGM, Omayun is actually AFK. I think the ref noticed that in the loading screen and granted that first pause of his discretion before this game actually started rolling out. But I'm hoping we're not dealing with another MTN problem here. Because this is the violence is just hitting up, and this is the time where we want to enjoy it, and we don't want to be dealing with pauses, and we don't want to be dealing with AFKs and like. So MTN, you gotta seal up, man. This is not the time to be messing up here. But yeah, Emmy said this all. Levi on his signature pick. I do not see this carry pick doing so well, specifically because they don't have enough front line. They do only have Gato Kacha. Meanwhile, the side of El Cartel
Uh,
do have that Iritel
yeah.
and Ling that can cause a lot of problems for her. Just a lot of focus because she is a mid-range hero, but then there is an answer as well for Super Saiyan when the late game rolls about. And this Uranus wouldn't be roaming around the enemies and be doing a lot of problems for them because they do have that carry pick. But what are you thinking about this draft in general, other than Levi's signature pick, Emmy?
Uh, like you said, like you pointed out, I think Kyrie is going to have a bit of a problem, because they don't really have a front line apart from Panda, and he has to go into the back line with his AOG most of the time. So everybody is going to have to fend for himself. Sky Guy is going to be, trying to take down people with his ult, and we have Voidaka with. I'm pretty sure we are going to have a lot of, nice ult coming in from him, trying to scatter the ult team from the back lines, and they're definitely going to be shutting down Boye a lot, but it might just surprise us. And we still have Mayun still lagging. I think this ref, I don't this ref deserves like accolades because I don't even know how he saw the pause request. I think this is a restart. This is a restart that is being granted to the side of Shinigami. I think Panda 2 is locked out of the game and he
Yeah,
is in the bench.
this is a problem.
I think this MTN, trying to, swoop in and save Shinigami from the clutches of El Cartel because, MTN is sensing a bit of problem. Definitely
Yeah.
going to go. But, yeah, both teams know that a restart has been granted to SGM. And I don't know why they are not surrendering yet. Maybe
Yeah, he has
the
to
option
wait
is
for
down.
1 minute.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so the draft is looking okay. This link I'm loving this link pick. It's going to cause a lot of problem for the people at the back line. Lilia and Kari, to be precise, are going to have to deal with a lot of problem from the link and the irrital, and you have the Louis. Just the Louis is just something that you can't comprehend. I mean, there's enough now that you can know when she's using her ult, but you still don't know where she's going to pop out from, and that alone can cause a bit of a problem. Probably you're trying to recall or something, and then you just see the notification of that ult. You try to run or something, or you just walk right up into the bush that that they are teleporting into. But yeah, they have the link that can split push, cause a lot of havoc on the map, even if they are losing or behind or they are not getting objectives. The link can, split push, just do cause a lot of distractions on the map. So I think I'm going to, favor the side of El Cartel's draft right now. What do you think, Davish?
Yeah. I definitely hope that everything eventually falls into place and things go a bit more smoothly than they currently are. But yeah, kudos to the ref. He's really keeping a hawk's eye view over the game area and getting those calls. So it has been pretty. I mean, I was pretty hyped from the end of that second match, and right now my hype has been dulled by MTN and their usual antics. So, but this time it's not El Cartel suffering from their antics. It's actually Shinigami who are having a problem on the side of Omayun. So hopefully this time, as we get into the game 3, the final game for the ninth, can actually see or have a better experience and a smoother game. So yeah, I think there will be no changes to the draft and there will be no the extra bans. I don't know if Shinigami will actually take advantage of those, but I think they're going to try to get through it as fast as possible so we can get into the game. So I really want to see that. So like you guys were talking about, especially in the gold lane matchup, now Boye being on that carry, he's definitely going to be at a huge advantage, especially with super hatred on that Irithel. And yeah, we see that I don't think I've seen him on that carry pick before, so I don't know how he's going to perform. Hopefully he gives an actual now out Boye performance, not now out Bronze. So yeah, let's hope that he actually delivers on that. So the frontline issue also, yeah, I think that's also going to be a problem given how squishy the side of Shinigami is with this Lilia in the mid lane especially. So she will probably have to watch out for the combos from Luoyi, and also Kamileva, you have to be a bit more cautious while being on this Joy. Once again, I'm actually surprised that he had the audacity to take this hero after the complete disaster he put up the last time he picked her. So let's see. This time hopefully he puts up a better performance, but we'll see Cheesy on that link pick. I think that's also become one of his signature picks as the rising jungler player, and this time he's not being MOBA afraid. He's actually going for these assassins who can actually make plays and deliver these games. So as we go into game 2, Stu, are you favoring any team? I mean, I know casters are supposed to be neutral, but you're just looking at things on paper.
Neutral?
Who's draft?
No.
Oh,
No.
is that bias?
I'm not
Am I
neutral.
sensing some bias?
Yeah, very biased. I am biased to Zask picks, to Leslie picks, or any picks
Okay.
of the sorts. I will dunk on you with the full ability of my commentary. But yeah, I believe Emmy said it all. They do have a lot of dive, CC, sustain.
Oh my god.
Is this another AFK coming in? This is yeah, no. This is not what we want to see. But yeah, looking at the draft on the side of El Cartel, they do have sustain, they do have CC, they do have damage, they do have not necessarily range, but they do have mobility coming from that Irithel. But at the same time, SGM's lineup is actually not far off. We can see Gasukacha in this game actually still just providing a lot of value, and I feel a lot of Romans are actually sleeping on this hero as a meh kind of guy, but I feel this guy is absolutely bonkers when you give him to a player that actually knows how to utilize him, especially with those steel bones as well as the AOGs. But right now, they have the AOG from Gatukacha. They do have that mobility and damage from Joy. They have that late game shredding ability coming in from that boy with that carry, and the anti-dive from Lilia, as well as the should I say match. I wouldn't necessarily call it a counter, but like a match to the Uranus in the lane with CC from Sky Guy. So yeah, the matchup right now is pretty even, and although I'm more biased to El Cartel just because they have a bit more early game power, right, I don't see Shinigami falling off Well, what do you think about this, Emmy?
Uh, all the drafts aside and everything, all this restarting, pausing, and everything is quite. It's making me quite sleepy, and I'm not enjoying this. And we know for a fact that each teams are only eligible to request for one pause in a series and one restart rather, and they have already been granted that. So I hope all my unit. Okay, all right, it's moving, and yeah, we're back into the game.
Glory,
There's not going to be
glory.
any excuse coming to coming from anybody. I don't want to mention names because we have a lot of people that use that as excuse. But yeah, uh, like you said, their draft is somehow. I don't know. The carry pick was probably a preemptive answer for the Uranus because they know for a fact that Uranus is going to be a problem later on in the game, and we have CC melting the Uranus down so much, but he is able to regen back with his passive and all that. But yeah, I'm still going to lean towards El Cartel's drafts right now. But yeah, let's get into the game and let's see what they have for us.
Yeah, definitely. Finally, our thirst for violence will finally be quenched. We'll have a taste of it finally. Yeah, so like you said, it's a bit surprising. I thought the oh my God. And just as we were starting to get excited for an exciting game, once again the MTN gods told us that we have not appeased them, and they are not letting us go on with what we have for today. So I really don't know. Possibly someone on the side of Shinigami offended them. We don't know what kind of clandestine activities they get up to while they are in their cults, the Reapers cults that they are presently in, the Shinigami cult. So we don't know. We know we have heard stories that some funny, some dubious activities, some notorious activities actually go on in there. So we can't say for certain what is the cause of their lag, but really, I'm really hoping that we can get it resolved. I think this is the second pause now. If anything, it'll just be one more pause in the books or on the refs discretion. So I'm really hoping they can get everything sorted out during this duration. So it's a bit underwhelming that all this have to happen on this day of all days when we have such caliber of players in front of us dishing us the violence that we have craved for so long. So I really don't know, and I'm really hoping that things can change for the better still.
Yeah, right now it is putting a damper on our mood, but it's up to us, the casters here, to keep the violence alive because we do know how much entertainment that these two teams can give us here. MTM may try, but MTM be damned. Right now we're here to see Shinigami versus El Cartel, and we would be going back into the game right now as we watch these two titans face off. Looks like Yoon is actually going to be rotating, or rather moving into the mid lane, hopefully with his net fixed. But we have 30 seconds of the total. This Uran is actually holding his own against this CC pick here. Um, Gatokacha Panda actually top lane, trying to give some early assistance to this carry pick because we do know that this Iritel beats her in the lane. She's trying to freeze the waves right now so that Nad Boy wouldn't be able to clear, and that would actually give the side of El Cartel an early start on this total. But what are you thinking about this, Emmy?
I don't know why they are not deciding to come for the toss because Gatos is up there in the top lane, trying to help the carry with the lane, and we have Lingear coming in with the Finch push.
Yeah, it looks like he comes in with the Finks points, but he's actually going to let Omayun escape that with the sprint. But the electrifying beat going to the back line on his guy. The first blood is actually going to be onto Cheesy with the cutting call from Sky Guy. And it looks like Nad Boy actually rotating early for this fight, being able to do so much damage right now. The Revitalize from Super Saiyan actually going to come in and keep the side of El Cartel healthy as Shinigami do go on this total.
I think we have Levi here, trying to make up for all the talks and everything that has been coming his way. We can see he got the first blood in on Shinigami, and he's just there all over the map, and he is 2 levels ahead of Cheesy right now. And we have okay,
Yeah.
he didn't take that shortcut, because uh all right, we have a bit of a gank here happening in the top lane. Conquest, Panda, Umayun, Boye, and Voidaka all here present, and nobody is going to take the bait, and they are all retreating. They're just still here trying to camp Hatred because they know he's a very impulsive player and they're trying to beat him out.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like they're gonna try and place him out with the glue bombs will come in, but that would not be a fight. The AOG still hanging on to Panda here, but it looks like they would retreat for now. Oh no, they're actually planning to flank him. But no, the fight doesn't take place. They're edging us here. They're edging
This
us
is
here
this,
with
this
this
is
fight.
we're just waiting for someone to pull the trigger, and they're just like, yeah, ooh, I'm here, I'm joking with you. But we have an engagement on Uranus in the bot lane, but he is able to survive because I mean that's Uranus, that's the tank, baby. It doesn't go down easy. And we have Camiliva just farming up, waiting for that big fight that is going to happen anytime soon, because the turtle is going to be spawning in the next 15 seconds. And we have Gatot here still in the top lane, trying to make sure that Carry does not have a hard time against the Irritor. And Irritor for sure knows that, Panda is there in the bush.
yeah, definitely. I can tell that his sixth sense is tingling, and you actually see. I think that was a misclick by Void Hacker actually using that diversion. So I don't know. He's probably having some nerves right now. See Kamileva actually going to the backline with that electrifying beat, followed by the steel booms from Panda, and that secures 2 kills for the side of Shinigami with that turtle. Look at how fast that that cow was busted down. I mean, just like Disciple time he took it on Dark Stars against Xenagog, we're seeing a repeat of animal brutality right now. That was insane. That's supposed to be a tank, and he was busted down so fast that he could not even get off his Minoan Fury in time. Still, he's not looking good for El Cartel, but I mean, they have been in this situation so many times and they have come out of it so many times.
Right now, you can see that if you take a look at the items, Conquest on that Minotaur actually going for the Flask of Oasis as a first item. I do know that the cow was buffed, but not to that extent. He didn't even complete his boots. No magic defense, no tough boots, nothing to actually shield him from that early game damage coming in from Camiliva on that joy. But looks like there's going to be a gank onto the bot lane, but no, that would break out the moment that diversion comes in from Void Hacker. So yeah, we can see that this stacks up. Ooh,
Oh,
look
look at
at the
this. Look at.
purple buff.
Oh
The
my
steel
god.
bones coming in and he's going to
Oh,
pop
oh,
that ult,
oh.
but no, now boy is not able to secure this kill here. He is going to miss those
Miscommunication.
blades and he does not have his purple buff. He has no way to actually survive this. But oh, look at the minimum wage. He doesn't pop it just yet, but he does stomp, and it's going to be a kill
Oh.
onto Conquest here from Lilia with those gloom bombs. Wow.
I don't understand what was going on there, but they need to pay a bit of more attention to A Trade. And this is just like what happened the first match. They were not paying attention to A Trade. They were not helping him enough. And Conquest and I think we have Kami Levi here in the zone, just trying his possible best to, the two teams are both at match points, any mistake right now, and you are going to be the losing team. And we have a 5-0 on the scoreboard right now with a 4K gold lead coming in from SGM, and it's just like the repeat of the first match. Hopefully, they pay enough attention to Super Hatred. I mean, just look at the rotation coming in from Conquest and Void Arca right now. They are not paying attention to the lane that Super Hatred is on. I don't know if okay, we have diversion. Nobody is going to take that. and we have H ready here just just clearing his wave slowly. But they need to buy enough time and gold for this gold laner. And we have a bit of a fight here with CC and Cheesy. But he is going to disengage from there because he knows he can't win that fight without his blue buff. And we have his blue buff coming up in the next 5 seconds. I'm pretty sure the whole team of Shinigami here is going to be here and try to steal his buff. We have a Grand Theft Purple. We have the oh wow.
Joy with the
Tough.
electrifying beast, the minimum rate does go up, but now boy is going to survive with a steep up HP, but Cheesy is going to secure this kill. He is caught out, but he does use his walls to escape, but no! Super Saiyan not going to be able to sustain that damage coming in from the side of Shinigami. He doesn't have his items here, but no,
my
you
God.
can see
Oh
Kamili
my
back going in
God.
with those electrifying
Oh
bits
my
again, and
God.
Volker is going to drop to the dancing Nyoin.
This is what I said about Levi. Like he's in the zone right now. Like I don't know, maybe he was listening in on the stream or something. We were like, oh, okay, watch this. Like I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys why this is my signature pick. He's performing a lot of moves right now that you wouldn't expect from him on a normal day. Probably you would expect it from the past him, and people are saying he's washed or something, but he's proving them wrong right now. And hopefully, I don't. I'm hoping they don't turn this back on his head, and he loses this match. But he's on a 206 KDA right now, level 14 with the 3 level ahead of the link, and we have El Cartel just giving up on the objective right now and taking the first tier 1 turrets in the top lane. They're trying to convert anything on top on the map right now, and we have the blue buff of Cheesy coming up, but Camiliva is already there, and they are going to bust down this Uranus with the electrifying beats, but he's able to survive with the revitalize, and we have the Marine Rage coming in from Conquest.
Oh my God. No, it's
Is
happening.
Oh
going to
wow.
be shut down
It's
onto
happening. It's
Kami
happening.
Levi. He dances no more. But Sky Guy actually going to try with the cutting call to do some damage and sustain it with the vengeance. But Shinigami not actually going to be able to make the most out of this Lord now that Kami Levi drops here. Popping those electrifying beats way too early.
Yeah, they were not able to get most out of that fight because they didn't have the numbers advantage, and El Cartel was able to capitalize on that, and they were able to shut down Camille Levi and stop him from dancing around the electrifying beat. And we have the shield turret and the shield air popping in the mid lane, and Atred is taking care of the Lord in the top lane, and. I don't know. This can go either way right now. What do you guys think, Davis? What do you think?
I mean, I was just about to get on glazing Camille Levi on that joy pick. I thought that possibly he had heard all the slander that I was dishing out on stream, and he decided to show me another side that he has not shown us for a very long time. Once upon a time, he was a revered jungler on that pick, but Synagogue were the first to make him look like a balanced pick in his hands. And then they showed him how to play the pick when Placed Bones actually took that. So currently he was actually doing quite well until that unfortunate kill at the blue. And once again, we see that engage coming in from Bada with the AOG. But I don't think Cartel are interested in fighting right now. They just disengage as soon as Sky Guy pops that cutting call. So yeah, it was looking like a dominant hold of the game by Shinigami, but then my confidence was a bit dented from that single kill on Kamileva. We know how these things go. This is a game of MLBB. Just one kill is enough to turn the tide and change the narrative of a game. So Shinigami still looking like they have a bit of a hold on the game and some map control, but El Cartel actually being very tactical and cautious with their approaches, and it's looking like they will just play their cards as best they can and see if they can get something out of this game still.
Yeah, right now we can see that we're coming into the 12th minute of the game. Shinigami still sitting at a 7K gold lead here. But Cheesy just farming up. He has reached level 14. He would soon reach that level 15 here. They will be able to secure this Lord, but Cartel might be able to defend this. And if they do defend this, it's just going to get harder and harder for Shinigami to close this out. They do have a carry, but that may not be all that they need to actually secure this win here. Kaminiva actually going to be taking his purple buff, while Cheesy is going to be cut out of his buff. Is he actually going to reach there in time? No, he is not. He was trying to be slick and he ended up losing up on both ends here. But Emmy, what do you think? How do you feel that this Lord push is going to fan out?
I think if Shinigami, oh sorry, El Cartel are able to defend this Lord, I think they should have a bit of a fighting chance because they have the advantage when it comes to front line, and the Uranus and the Minotaur are just starting to get beefy and with a lot of HP, and we have the Lord here.
Yeah, the Lord has spawned here, but it looks like Super Saiyan would be but the AOG comes in and the cutting call is
Oh,
actually able to keep them out.
oh my
Super
god.
Saiyan is going to be cutting in the front line and he is going to fall
Oh,
here.
oh,
Mega kill coming in from Omayun, and it's going to be Cheesy that's going to
Oh,
try and defend this, but Conquest looks like the
oh,
cartel just got sanctioned. Their assets frozen and their squad eliminated. They try to
yeah, yeah.
traffic one last time, but they're trafficking nothing but else as they would lose out
Oh
in
my
this
god.
gauntlet
Oh
road.
my god.
Wow.
Oh my
oh,
god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Aka on the
Oh
bronze,
my god.
Aka on the bronze.
Oh, oh my god.
This is what he had his game hacked here. The
Oh
Loi
my
pick
god.
not coming in clutch as Kami Levi actually redeems himself with an MVP performance, reaping their souls as they stay in this gauntlet road.
Like,
But what do you
like
think
just
about this, Emmy?
just like the first game, they didn't pay enough attention to the gold lane. Panda was just there, babysitting Boye, giving him enough time and opportunity to make sure he's not falling behind because they know for a fact that Irito has an advantage on the carry in the early game, and there's going to be a each of a good lane. They don't want Atreus to have that spike, but I don't know what El Cartel what they were doing. They were going to some other lane, or I don't know what was going on, but they were not doubling down on that good lane, and so it was from there. They lost just one team fight in that good lane, and then what's his name? Boye was able to push through the tier 1 and the tier 2 turrets in the span of I think 6 minutes or so, and from there Levi was already in the zone. He was just there trying to to kill everybody, to make sure everybody is shut down and they don't have a problem with tearing down the turrets and converting the kills into turrets. But the last AOG that was coming in from Panja, I think there was a bit of a mechanics issue coming in from Shinigami El Cartel's team because Voidaka flickered out of the AOG's range, but then I think he walked back into it, or probably the flicker was not completely out of the AOG range, and that's why he was caught in the middle because we can see the yin yang coming in from him was actually very dangerous to Shinigami, and he was almost busting down, two or three people, but he was not able to finish the job because the electrifying bit coming in from Levi was able to shut him down, and we have Levi here on a 10.0 rating KDA. Sorry, 10.0 rating with a 3.318 KDA and an MVP. I think he's probably in the groups right now, the GC right now, trying to get back at all the people that were banting his signature pick. And seriously, I am disappointed that El Cartel lost this match, but it is what it is. GG's to both teams, and over to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's well deserved. He actually got the MVP on that this joy pick. This is his usual um ratings. These are the usual plays that we see out of Camille, and I believe it has been a long time coming, and finally he has actually proven that he still got it. He still got some of that mojo, some of that Camille mojo that he always had. And finally, they are top three in the current gauntlet as it stands. And sadly, this is the end of the road for Cartel. I mean, they did quite well. They put up a good performance. They put up a good fight, but it was just not enough. I do wish them good luck in all their future endeavors, but I'm more interested in what tomorrow brings. And as my final word for the day, Stu, um, congrats to Shinigami over the win, and I guess we'll see once again the violence that tomorrow brings, because it's looking like Shinigami are not interested in causing any violence today.
Yeah, I mean, like you can see whether Vexana Ban actually did come into clutch because Camille Levi just had free reign. That the Eternal Guard as well as the S1 Terrify from the Vexana would have made Camille Levi have to, be a lot more calculated with his engages here. But that's just peak drafting knowledge when you see that they are banning out the mages that you called C tier or B tier, just so that they can just get their picks in and perform the way that they did. And I do have to give props to Sky Guy here with that cutting call because that cutting call was able to guarantee that hit from Panda with the AOG. He bundled them together and them scattering into different directions couldn't let them or give them the
Yeah.
space that they needed to actually evade that skill. But yeah, kudos to both teams. It was a wonderful series. And we'll see you again, same time, 10 p.m. tomorrow on the Gauntlet stage. Hopefully, not with any pauses or restarts. And remember, like the stream. I'm watching you right now. Like the stream.
All right.
All right, guys. It was lovely having you guys on the stream. Don't forget to like the stream, just as Stu said. Take care and peace.